All right, Rotor Grinders, here we are. It's your old pal Emac going live old school here. I've got my pal Ed Fear, Fast Eddie, former winner of all things exciting, including my money. Then he turned legit, works for a site now. Ed, go ahead, give a shout out. Talk about your location for those who weren't with us last week.
Yeah, I'm back again in the House of the Rising Sun here. It's a house in New Orleans. No, actually, I'm in Ohio, but I just put up a crappy drape so everyone doesn't have to see my basement. But things are good. Yeah, I'm kind of like a former criminal turned FBI agent, except a whole lot less sexy.
Oh, I don't know about that. I haven't seen too many sexy FBI agents.
Well, that's a fair point. That's a fair point.
All right. Well, chat's going to have to let us know how the sound is. Clearly, I'm in a different locale. I'm stuck at work. We're kind of in my busy time.
What do you do, Eman?
I do compensation. So I kind of work in the HR world. And
does that mean you drive like a really fast car because in other ways you feel less than adequate?
No, fortunately. I don't have to worry about that. So basically what I do is I see what I determine what people should make for, or I determine what we should pay jobs, oversee bonus plans, stock plans, offer letters, negotiations with incoming people, severance plans, retention plans, all sorts of stuff like that. So
exciting. I could talk about this for hours.
There's some pretty crazy stuff. I did work for the U.S. Treasury for about 18 months when we were advising the car companies and the banking companies that took money how to pay their top people, since we, the taxpayers, owned quite a few of those companies. That was pretty exciting. But anyway, let's get on to a little basketball here. I see we already have some exciting news. We have one Nerlens Noel who got booted from his last game for foolishness.
He's oot. I was playing a free game that night. Ever since I was banned from playing due to working in the industry, I've played a lot of free games on the site against the other employees, and they are cutthroat. Let me tell you, now that instead of playing hundreds of games for thousands of dollars, I'm down to playing the guys I work with for absolutely nothing. The people are sending each other taunting messages all night, and when Nerlens got the boot, wrecked my night.
Apparently they say we're not live.
Wait, you and I were just chatting for shiggles?
Apparently we are. So interesting.
6:40. Did we ever go live?
I don't know. So who knows? Apparently chat isn't telling us this.
Maybe they're just trolling us. Maybe we are live, and they come up with a plan. I'm gonna I'll do the intro funnier this time.
Yeah, the fun part is it's the producer telling us that it's not working. So I don't know what he's watching. I'm going to yeah, we're good. I can see us right now. So there we are.
Wait a minute.
There we go. So with that, I don't know what they're doing.
I hit play and I got live stream is starting soon. I'm trying to see myself, but I don't see anything. Oh,
now we're live, they say. Well, there we go.
Now we're live.
So here we go. Let's talk Nerlens Noel. He's out.
Oh, yeah, okay. Nerlens Noel. Yeah, he's out.
Some guy I've never heard of, Rashawn Holmes.
Yeah.
Getting the start. Is there
any... The 76ers are like the Cleveland Indians from Major League. The beginning of the year is like, who the hell are these guys? This guy's dead. Like, yeah, the 76ers are I forget who it was. They had an interview with somebody on the team. I want to say Tony Roten, but they had an interview with somebody, and they were like, all right, we're going to name people on your team. What is their number? And they were like teasing him. I think Dan Lebitard was doing it. I would think the value goes with other guys who are going to swing in. I would boost up Hollis Thompson, who I think pick some extra minutes. I would look at other guys to pick up the value there. I somehow doubt they'll throw this guy out at 20 minutes in the first start of his career. So I would probably pivot other places.
I'm thinking that not that particular position, but it's got to help Okafor a little bit, I would think. Jeremy Grant, he got banged up, left early the other game. Says he's starting too. So
Yeah, Jeremy's. I like Okafor a lot. I liked him already. He's pretty cheap. He's down around 5,900 on a couple sites. I thought he was going to be pretty good already, and I definitely think he's going to play like 42, 44 minutes now. He's just a kid, so they'll run him out there for a while. So I'm excited about Okafor as an option.
Excellent. While we're doing this, I got to let chat know that they need to give me a number so we can give out the soft, luxurious Roto-Grinders t-shirts. So chat, you know the drill. Put out a number. I keep looking this way because I have a second computer up because these Google Hangouts aren't the same. I can't minimize the window very well and still run the control panel on it. So I'm getting old. Whatever, deal with it. But give me a number, chat. We're going to get that out there. Eddie, let's talk about some other stuff here, though. Who's your favorite matchup tonight?
Who is my favorite matchup tonight? That is a good question. I actually like Andre Drummond, which I know is not what everyone's thinking, and I've read quite a bit the opposite. But I watched him in the one game he played against Bogut last year. I think they're going to focus on him even more than normal. I think the game against Bogut last year, he had 22 and 25 or 23 and 26, something like that. I actually really like that matchup. I think they're going to push the ball in a lot. And assuming he can stay out of foul trouble, which hasn't been as much of an issue for him this year as it was in years past, I actually really like Andre Drummond tonight. I think he's the sort of sleeper chalk guy that everyone moved away from. If that makes sense.
He's now averaging a 20-20.
Yeah, it's the absolute sickness. I read somewhere today, Roto World or something, that no one had ended a year averaging more than 16 rebounds a year since Rodman 19 years ago or something like that. So it's a 20-20 is absolutely silly. I don't know if anyone's ever averaged a 20-20. I would guess Wilt maybe, but that's actually a stat I don't know offhand if anyone's ever done it for a season.
Yeah, I gotta think he was up there. I know the famously averaged 50 points for a couple seasons. One year he led the league in assists after he averaged the 50 points because everybody.
My favorite was the year he led the league in assists because a lot of this he was playing against guys like you and me in swimming pools. So it's all with a grain of salt. But the assist year came where all the the media at the time, which is old guys with notepads, were sitting there complaining he never passed the ball. He's like, fine, I will lead the league in assists next year. And then he did it. And then he went out and had sex with something like 4.3 women a day for a decade. God bless you, Will.
Yeah, he was pretty ahead of his time.
He was a prolific scorer.
Oh, I see what you did there. I see what you did there. All right, chat, the number tonight, we're going with the Bosworth. It's 44. So what I need everyone to do is go to my timeline at EMACDFS or Roto-Grinders timeline at Roto-Grinders. Look for the tweet that says, win a t-shirt, reply to this tweet with the DraftKings player who will score closest to 44 DK points, hashtag RG LastCall. All right, so Denver's a mess again. Is there any way we can trust J.J. Hickson?
No. I think they're going to push small again today to react to Portland. So I imagine everybody likes Barton. I love me some Will Barton. He's very nice on a couple sites. If you want to veer away from that a little bit, Gary Harris has some value. I think Fareed has a lot of potential. I even like the guys on the bigs on Portland, most of whom are pretty cheap around the industry. You got Plumlee, you got Myers Leonard. All of them are site dependent. But if you play on a few sites, you can really pick the ones that are most advantageous there. But I like a lot of guys in that game. I think that's the I have to imagine that's the Vegas high game for over under.
Let's see. It is pretty close. Detroit's at 208.
What is it, 206 or something?
207. So we're splitting hairs. Someone hits a buzzer beater at the end of the quarter. It's going to not matter. There you go.
But again, all the guys are just so much cheaper. Like you're buying your shooting guards at $3,500, $4,000 instead of spending $5,000 up for KCP and all the. So I guess I like it that much more in that almost all the staff in the game is cheaper. Other than I guess Reggie Jackson. Reggie would probably be a fun GPP play, although it is now November, not October.
All right, here's one for you.
No, you didn't get my Reggie Jackson October. It's all right. We're moving on. We're moving on.
Hey, not every
for you. I can't.
Well, can I throw in something about the straw that stirs the drink to redeem myself?
Nice. I like that.
All right. So here's a question in here. CJ Miles or Bellinelli? I don't think I don't think we can. I want to go with Miles. He's been dinged up.
Yes, but revenge game. Narrative
Absolutely.
box checked. I got CJ Miles. Now CJ Miles, I get my CJs confused frequently. There are just too many darn CJs, and they all play about the same position. CJ Miles is not CJ Watson. Jackson Heights own CJ Watson. CJ Miles almost didn't play today. Him and Stuckey were out, but they're giving it a run, I think. The backcourt minutes there are a little bit in flux, so that plus revenge narrative plus a few $100 cheaper everywhere. My gut says I would probably go with Bellinelli for good times, if nothing else.
Yeah, and I look at it this way: he's a savvy veteran, even though Danny Green will be out there some of the time on him. Bellinelli knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. Plus, he knows Green because he practiced against him for a couple years.
That can be an advantage.
I actually like Danny Green also. We try to pick our spots with Danny Green. We haven't seen him hit for a 40 burger.
Oh,
He does have it. He does have it. Now, if he's going to do it, why not against the team that, wait for it, has had the worst fantasy points allowed against shooting guards for the last 3 years?
I completely believe that. It's you get enough Ben McLemore in your life, just everything gets exciting.
Indeed. What do you feel about DeMarcus Cousins tonight? I doubt he would come back unless he was fully healthy, but do you want to risk that? Maybe he's a little rusty. Maybe he's a little winded. He's been out for a week now.
That's an interesting question. Well, it's again, it's a site-dependent play. There's one site where he's the 20th most expensive player. I leave it to you players to find it. It's a scavenger hunt. But there's one place where I like DeMarcus Cousins a lot if you're playing tonight. Other than that, it's obviously a lot to gamble. There's not a ton of really expensive chalk tonight. After you run through Steph and Blake, it falls off pretty quick. And some of those guys don't have the best lineups. And there's a decent bit of value. So I certainly like him in tournaments because, he can do it. I don't like Rudy Gay's matchup, and somebody's got to score the ball. So I definitely think he would be off limits as a cash game play most places. But I certainly would enjoy putting him out there in a couple tournaments, I think.
All right. What about Damian Lillard? How's his price continue to slowly drop on DraftKings?
Yeah, I really don't know. His usage rate is obviously incredibly high. I don't know what to tell you. What was he DraftKings? 8,500, I want to say?
He is, 8,500.
Oh, look at that. I did some research today.
Sorry,
no,
I don't have a button.
On radio, you have a little button that says call for sneeze, and you hit it. And then, no, you have to like the matchup. Again, it's going to be a really fast-paced game. He's young, so I don't think he has much trouble with the thin air up there. And assuming he hasn't gotten into too many not fun recreational activities that have otherwise impeded his lung capacity while he's visiting Colorado, I imagine I'll have a good game this evening. I like him. Certainly at 8,500. If you're not going all the way up for Curry, who they added 10.5, I think he was 2K more. So I certainly think Lillard has a ton of merit.
All right, let's talk about the guy I've got in all my lineups at the moment, Al-Farouq Aminu.
Al-Farouq Aminu, yes.
6,100. His price is creeping up. He's no longer a member of the Bargain Bin Ballers Club. It's been nice writing him up for the last week. I think we got to keep playing him until he hits probably about 7,000. He's getting that kind of minutes. He's doing a lot of the rebounding for Portland, who really can't rely on Plumlee and Myers Leonard to do it all. I like him. I'm just running him out across the board, and he's actually hit a few threes here and there also.
Yeah, he's really putting himself on the stat sheet all across the board. I've got him. I made 7 free lineups today, and I think he's in 5 of them. Like I really like him. It's obviously there's a position scarcity issue there, and his price isn't too high almost anywhere. It's actually about as high as it gets on DraftKings, and even at 6,100. I think he's great. He's got a good shot at double-double bonus, so I could not agree with you more. And in a plus matchup, I'm a fan.
All right. Would you look to find the extra $2,000 to get to Kawhi Leonard, or are you fine with Aminu?
I mean, those are really the guys at small forward if you're going to play tonight. There's some places where you can get not gonna work here anymore. Bajelica, or however that goodbye Felicia, as I like to call him. Anyhow, there's some places where he's small forward eligible, where I like him a lot. I have him in my FanDuel lineup and a couple other places. But at small forward, I think you pay up, because otherwise you're looking at a lot of guys who I think are going to give you 4 or 5 points tonight. So I don't mind Aminu or Leonard again. If you're playing on a single site, I would flip a coin. Otherwise, hopefully, if you're playing a couple places, you can buy cheap and score high.
All right. Thoughts on Rudy Gay? I'm kind of done with him. I'll let other people get his 40+ games when they happen.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I'm not obviously thrilled with the matchup. Cousins is back, and if he wasn't really paying off his value with Cousins out, I don't think bringing the big guy back in is going to assist him any. I mean, I think you're looking at 4 or 5% owned in tournaments, and even there only because of the really thin position. But I wouldn't be inclined to go that way now.
All right. What are your thoughts on McConnell for Philly? Now, we haven't seen him get double digits in points yet, but he's been doing a pretty good job of his peripheral stuff. He's kind of at the break point for me. I think he's 5,200, I want to say, off the top of my head. That's about where I'm done with him. He has 3 games at 32 or better DraftKings points. He has 3 games at 18 or worse. He hasn't really middled one yet. We need him to hit that 30 now to make it worth our while. Do you think he can get that tonight?
Tonight, I mean, this isn't the Bulls of a few years ago. So my gut would be he's going to have a good game tonight. I had him in a few lineups. I definitely like. It's another really site-dependent guy. He's certainly tournament playable anywhere because he's pretty cheap. But there's places where he's still, very slightly off the minimum, and other places where he's up into the mid-5s. So it's definitely a price-dependent, site-dependent kind of guy. But that game, I mean, a couple of years ago, that game would have had an over/under of much less, like $1.85. Now I bet it's $1.95 or almost 200, because the Bulls really aren't playing defense the way that they can outside Jimmy buckets. And the 76ers, again, to quote the custodial staff in Major League, they're still shitty.
Indeed they are. Chat's giving you some props for the Office Space reference. I must have missed it. Way to go. Way to go.
I don't even remember what Office Space reference.
I'm not sure.
I didn't jump to conclusions on a mat. I didn't recycle the plot from Superman 3.
PC load letter. What the F is PC load letter?
What the there is no paper jam! I got nothing.
2 chicks.
I have no piece of flair. No piece of flair. What would you do with $1 million? 2 chicks at the same time.
Absolutely. Where do you rank Sauce Castillo in there with Bellinelli and Danny Green?
He's gonna have issues with Jimmy Buckets, who's a pretty good defender, and he'll be on him most of the time because he's the one guy the Bulls really don't let rest that much. So he's got the toughest matchup of the 3 of them offhand. I would think tournaments only. He's pretty cheap a couple places. He's still pretty cheap on Yahoo, but I would defer to either of the other 2, I think.
All right. Where do you feather in Bazemore and Will Barton?
I mean, Bazemore, as much as hearing bearded men on Roto Grinders say how good Bazemore is, he's been incredible the last couple of weeks. He's really paid off his price for a while. Bazemore or who?
I'm sorry, I'm reading compliments about my shirt. Bazemore or Will Barton?
That's just very fashionable. You're looking good. I've got sort of an over. This is a golf over shirt. I've got my golf shirt and my go out and play a couple holes. Bazemore and whom? I'm sorry.
Will Barton.
Will Barton. You gotta like Will Barton. I don't know if they've confirmed him as out there starting yet, but they almost certainly will. And again, I think they're going to go small tonight, and it's just cost dependent. I think Barton's going to be less for you almost everywhere, and the game I think is going to score more points. So again, in cash, I would almost always defer to Barton.
All right.
Barton.
Tommy Boy or Office Space?
Ooh, fat guy in a little coat. I'm going to go with Office Space simply because there's also some commentary in there too. Although there's like Ray Zielinski, the auto parts king. I don't know which one has more hidden meaning and substance. That's tough. Don't make me choose between those two things. Those are both fine films.
All right. Apparently, my shirt is GPP only. I think it's cash, man.
It's money.
It's so money. Let's see, McConnell or Okafor. It's a utility position play. They're similarly priced.
Apparently, they shouldn't be that. Okafor will cost you more, but if somehow there's a place where you would have that change, my gut would be Okafor. I like Okafor, especially with the extra minutes he's going to get. I would defer that. Oh my God, they are going to start Joakim Noah. They are putting Mirotic to the bench.
They kind of have to, don't they? I mean, he's only been playing 20 minutes a game. He hasn't been doing absolutely nothing with them. After his first 2 games, I was so thrilled.
Yeah. Tons of foul trouble, too. He didn't used to have that much trouble keeping his hands to himself, but a few games recently, he just comes out in 4 fouls in 9 minutes. So certainly, we're running out of time here. It's only like a minute or 2.
Apparently, he listens to Little Georgia Satellites on his Beats by Dre.
I didn't know that.
Keep your hands to yourself. See what I did there?
Oh, okay. See that? Right over. You got me. We'll call it even.
All right. Last question of the night.
Okay. Hit me. Deadman
or not to Deadman?
Deadman. Deadman walking. Deadman running, jumping, blocking, dunking. Deadman is I like Deadman. He gives the team a defensive presence. They look to him reasonably often. I think the game will move pretty fast. I like Deadman.
Yeah, I have to agree tonight because I don't think, unless he's stupid, I don't think he's going to foul out. Now, he's fouled out 2 of the last 3, and last night he got 5 fouls. Yeah. I don't see anybody on Indiana that warrants fouls.
I mean, Mahinmi is a reasonably solid guy. He's actually not a horrific defender, but I like Deadman tonight. Again, it's price dependent. There's places he's sitting on the minimum or 300 over it. There's places where he's now up to like $5,000 or so. I don't think you need to go there, but certainly I have no problem with getting some of the Deadman in. I look at him as like the Undertaker. Mark Calloway, that's it. I was going to make an Undertaker Mark Calloway reference, and then I froze on the Undertaker's real name for a minute there.
All right, they're questioning is my shirt from Target or Dillard's. I've never seen a Dillard's before. I'm aware it's a department store.
I've seen a couple of them, but yeah, it's always is that place called Dillard's?
Yeah. I'm aware of Target. I'm trying to think. I don't think the Target where I live has.
I think it
does have some clothes.
That's part of the Kathy Lee Gifford collection, I think.
Yeah, it does have clothes. There's a different place we go that it's not far from the Target. Oh, I can't think of what it. Oh, Kohl's. I don't remember Kohl's out on the West Coast, but
we have Kohl's. Yeah. Where the hell are you, Emac? Not I mean geographically.
Virginia. I'm out in Virginia.
I'm in Ohio, so we're roughly proximate.
Which city?
I'm in Dayton at the moment. You're in a nice little 3-way mix between Columbus and Indianapolis, and Cincinnati are all hour and a half away. So you can get to some pretty cool sporting events.
Gotcha. We have quite a few people in the fantasy community are out there in Ohio, interestingly enough, including Crazy Gaby.
We were going to do a live show. I right as the Bengals-Browns game was coming on, I said, we should have done a Battle of Ohio live show. You should have driven out here to the Curtin place, or I should have gone to your place, and we should have had a montage.
There you go. That would be fun. But my wife grew up, or at least through elementary school, in a place called Chillicothe, which is I don't know, like 40 minutes or so from where you are, I think.
Yeah, I've driven through it. I got a fun story about the curtains. So for my anniversary with my wife, I rented out this place called the Ariston Inn. It's like a 150-year-old giant manor house, and they've turned it into a hotel. And it's got stable yard and like a moat and 60 rooms and giant staircase and really cool place. So I got the whole place for us, and so they gave us a cool tour, and they went upstairs, and in the attic there's like, this used to be an old speakeasy, and it was really cool. They're like, you can look out the windows, and that's where they saw the cops coming to take away their alcohol. And over here behind these curtains is where the women, the prostitutes, would come to service the men, and they had the whole thing. And I'm like, hey, buddy, come on, let's do it for the whores. Let's do it for the dead whores. Come on, it's our anniversary. And then surprisingly, dead prostitutes, not a thing for her. Did not go well for me. The evening was difficult to recover from that point.
All right. Well,
Just story time for the evening is done.
Sometimes things are best left unknown.
I was consumed by the spirits of formerly dead sex workers.
Good times. Good times. All right. Well, it's pencils up, so we're going to let everybody go. Chad, I don't know what's going on back in headquarters. There's some sort of issue with Wirecast, which is why we've had to go to the old school Google Hangouts. We will work on that feverishly, I am sure. And by we, I mean everybody but me. I'm out here in Virginia, so it's not my fault. It's not my fault this time, damn it. But with that, we want to say thank you, DraftKings, for sponsoring the show. Thank you, RotoGrinders, for giving us this wonderful platform with which to talk daily fantasy sports. Good luck. We got a big week of content out there, and we're looking forward. We'll see you later.